Hi everyone, hope you're having a great Monday out there. Today I'm going to talk about a stock I completely sold out of. It's very rare that I actually reveal in real time like stocks I have sold now. Normally I only do it on the end of the month video on like the UK stocks I've been buying, and then that's when I go through all my buys and my sells. But this one I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring it forward and actually do a dedicated video on it. There's actually been two stocks I've completely sold out of, but this one in particular I felt like it was worth doing a dedicated video on. The other one I'll reveal at the end of the month. But yeah, I wanted to give a dedicated video on it because I think it might come as a surprise to a few people, and the reasons why I'm selling it. But it's been a fan favorite of the YouTube channel. It's one that I've been talking about for a while, and I thought it would be probably good to mention that I have sold out the position. There's a few things that I'm seeing that it's actually external factors that are making me wanting to sell a position, and my gut's just telling me like things aren't right. So I am going to sell it because of those reasons. There's certainly a few things that I feel like the company could have done better, and I'll also talk about them today. So yeah, I wanted to let the new YouTube channel know that, you know, a very popular stock that I own, I have sold. And then obviously I think it's also good to see, you know, reasons why I have sold the stock. And like I said, I actually didn't really want to sell it, but unfortunately I'm just seeing a few things that make me a bit nervous, and my gut's telling me like I think it's time to walk away, or certainly leave it, and then if things don't turn out, or they turn out better than what I thought they were going to do, maybe then I can buy back in. But right now, you know, lock in the profit and move away. So we'll get onto that in a second. Before we do, we're actually so close now to the 20,000 subscriber mark. Loads of you guys subscribed over the weekend, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you. And we're about 180 subscribers away now from actually getting to the 20,000 mark. So if we can get there, that'd be absolutely amazing. If we could do it by the end of the month, I'll do a live Q&A session for you guys when we do get there to celebrate it. And apart from that, we just got a message from today's sponsor. Investing.com is a website I'm sure you have seen me use plenty of times in my videos for breaking news in the stock market, but they also offer plenty of other fantastic services. One of them is their Pro Picks AI. This is a stock picking service that is using AI to try and identify stocks that can beat the market. You can see here, this is one of their stock picking services, which is the Tech Titans. It has returned 2,722% in the last 12 years, which is an annualized return of 30%. And they also have other types of stock Pro Picks AI if you do like this service, like Top Value Stocks and Best of Buffett, which is more of a Warren Buffett investing style, and there's plenty of other ones as well. You can see here 30% returns a year is not too bad at all, and when you do look at the price of this service, it works out as £7.99, which is so much cheaper than the other stock picking pro services out there like My Wall Street, and also their returns are significantly greater as well. So it's definitely worth something considering. As well as that, you would hope with some of these returns they would pay back the product that you would be paying for as well, which would be fantastic. As well as that, they do also offer another service, which is Warren AI. This is a great market research tool. So if you are wanting to do research on a stock like Adobe, you can type in why is Adobe down, and they'll be able to pull up all that information for you. It's a great service where it helps you just find and identify new stocks to be looking at as well. If you do want to join investing.com, there will be a link in the description of the video and also the comment section of the video as well, and it is £7.99 with a discount code which gives you 15% off as well. So do take advantage of that, guys. Thank you for watching, and thank you to investing.com for sponsoring the video. And now we'll get on to the stock that I did sell. So the stock I did sell is Gaming Realms. I did sell my shares in Gaming Realms. This was just at the start of this month, last week. I decided, okay, I'm going to move away, made his money, but there's a few things that I'm not liking at the moment. So first I'd covering this one over a year ago now, on the 19th of April 2024. And if we do go on the 19th of April 2024 on Google, you can see here the stock is up 41% since that time frame. Has had a little bit of a pullback in the last few days, actually, to be fair, but at some points up even more than that. At the peak, Game Realms was actually up around about 70%. Yeah, I've made some good money being in this stock, and it's been a really good performer in that time frame. And like I said, I didn't really want to sell it, but I'm just seeing things that are just making me too nervous to hold it. So we have sold the position, which is quite funny as well, because I remember the first time I covered Game Realms on this video here. I won't name them because I know people get upset when I call them out. But if you do go to the comment section on that video there's some absolute belting comments. Some people saying, oh, it's Gang 2.0 and stuff like that. Yeah, it has made me laugh. That's what I always love about YouTube, is when all the comments are negative, and there certainly were with Game Realms. Those are normally the best stocks to be buying, and if you go on that video there's certainly a lot of negative comments on that video, and once again turned out to be a really good performer overall. So yeah, good money made on it. I think overall, I think my last position was sold for 26% profit, and I think before that we've been taking 30, 40, 50% profits on Game Realms. So yeah, 70% of the reason why I've sold the stock is actually an external reason. One of the main reasons I'm selling it is because of the UK government, which is really sad to say that is the state that we're in. But unfortunately, a good 70% of the why I'm selling the stock is because I'm worried about the UK government. As we know, they have created a massive black hole. I think it's like 50 billion in the budget. So they need to raise money. And one of the things that I think they're going to do to raise money is they're going to hike up the tax on gambling companies. The rumor is that's going to go from 21% to 50%. So if it was only like a small hike, I might have held on to it. But the fact that it's 50%, like that much, like not even double, like, that's over double of what increase to the gambling tax, is huge. And that makes me really nervous about the gambling space, because I'm looking and thinking, for companies to absorb that, it's going to be massive. I'm not 100% sure how much that's going to affect Gaming Realms, but certainly it's going to affect them in some sort of point of view. I know that the companies will try the best to avoid it with like promotions, cutting down and enhancing the rate they're taking and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a few things that certainly make me nervous about how they're going to exactly handle all of that tax hike. And that comes on top of where they previously, the government introduced a staking limit as well last year. And that really affected them. You can see here, like it says here, UK content licensing fell 13% because of the changes in the staking impact. So that's, that change there really whacked them. And I'm thinking, is this gambling tax really going to whack them? I think it will. And, will people be less willing to, if the odds are a lot worse, to go do the casino games? If they're making less money, it's less attractive. Is there going to be an increase in the black market? All these things are kind of making me think, makes me a bit nervous. We already saw the staking impact hit them in the UK side, and this also I feel like will hit them. And the UK part of the business is a pretty significant part of the business, because I think it's about 20% of the revenue. And compare that to like DraftKings, obviously that hasn't, the other stocks I have in this space, that has no exposure to the UK. And if you compare it to Evolution, that has like 3% exposure in the UK. So my other two companies in this space have nowhere near the exposure as what Gaming Realms does, and that's the other reason why Gaming Realms unfortunately got the chop. The other thing as well that makes me a bit nervous, and so that's about 70% of the reason, is that this new tax coming in. The other 10% is that around the actual business. So I feel like Game Realms themselves didn't communicate how much the staking impacts were going to hit them, and then we saw it in the report and we're like, whoa, that hit them quite hard. I might have just generally missed it, but as far as I'm aware, I never saw them mention how much that was going to hit them. So with this gambling tax situation, how long is it until Game Realms would come out and tell us like, oh yeah, it might hit us? Because I think we've got an update in like November. By then we probably won't know about the gambling tax changes. And then I think we've got an update in April, but by then they're probably already implemented. So are we going to have to wait a whole year before they tell us how much this impact's going to be? And so that makes me a little bit nervous. Like Game Realms last time was quite slow to tell us about anything that's going to be impacted. The other thing that makes me nervous as well is I think Game Realms is already in a bit of a tough situation, because they've recently already come down with a profit upgrade. not upgrade, I wish it was an upgrade, a profit downgrade, which I feel like they didn't disclose well enough in the RNS. So once again, they're quite slow to tell us these things. And then the other thing is like this year, they're expecting 10% growth. But if you look at the first half of the year, they grew at like, where is the total? So revenue grew at 18%. So if they're growing at 10% a year, like the back end of the year is forecasting like a massive decline in revenue growth. But then they're expecting an acceleration up to 10% growth. Well, the problem is if the back end of the year your growth's declining massively to single digits amounts, and then you're going to have the gambling tax on top, and then you expect to go to 10% growth. Are those targets just very hard to achieve? And that's another issue that I have with the company. So there's the EPS targets as well, and also the revenue growth accelerating again after a massive deceleration in the second half, and with the gambling tax on top. Then there's the other 10% that also makes me nervous, and this is also making me nervous about the likes of DraftKings, for example, is the iGaming states. So originally, like the reason why I was quite bullish in this space and why I have 3 positions, which is like DraftKings, Evolution, and Game Realms, is because in the US, iGaming is a massive growth area. You know, it's not been allowed for all these years, and now it's just starting to be allowed. We've had the first few states come online, and it's absolutely boomed. But the problem is that after this boom that we've recently had, you basically ended in a time where in 2024 there's been no new iGaming states, and then in 2025. What looks like so far, there's going to be absolutely no new iGaming states. So yeah, this area exploded from like 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. But after like that period of time, it started to slow down. Like the iGaming states, there's so many to come online, and if they do come online, it'll be massive for them. But the problem is we're entering 2 years now with a lack of iGaming states coming online, and that's going to be a key driver for them. Like, them coming online solves all of this issue around the UK side of it, because you go, well, it doesn't matter what the UK does because the US growth will outgrow the UK side of it. But the problem is the US growth isn't going to grow out the UK side of it if you don't have the states coming online. So that's another thing that's making me nervous. And why, as well, for me personally, I think I needed to reduce my positions in the iGaming area, because this is starting to come like a major concern for me. Like in 2024, I was like, it's fine. By the time we get to 2025, we'll have a few more states, and then we'll got to 2025, and there's still no new states this year, which is an absolute major issue for me. I guess maybe another little point I'm going to make as well is that right now we're going to sit at 15 times earnings. Which, well, at the moment on a trailing 12 months basis, we're actually up to 17 times earnings, but 15 times earnings, let's say 2025 numbers, which I don't think is like, it's certainly cheap, but it's not where I was buying it like here. Like when I'm buying it here, like you're paying like 13 times earnings or something for it. Now, I guess you could say like next year, you're paying like 13 forward times earnings, but the problem is like, there's just so many things that I'm like, are they going to do that though? With the gambling tax that's coming online, the lack of iGaming states that's coming online at the moment, the growth slowdown, and obviously one reason why the profit's going to drive up so much is because they're growing so much. But as we see, H2 is going to show a deceleration, and then they've got to get to that acceleration by the back end of the year. So there's just a few things here that I'm just like, I'm not sure really. I'm a bit nervous. It's not just like this. That the tax issue is the big thing that's changed it for me, where I'm like, I'm not a fan of that. Like the other things were already like on my mind, but this is like a major change. And considering how much the staking limits hit them last year, and now they get hit by these, it's just not great. And for me, there was just so much things that I'm not liking at the moment. I thought, okay, you made money, take it off the table, and lock it in. And you know what? It might go back. It might continue to go up. It might be a mistake to reduce the position here. It might do really well. But for me, I'm just seeing too many risks starting to pop up. And I'd rather just sit on the fence and come back in a year's time, reassess. And if there's an opportunity there to buy it, then, I might go buy it again. But right now, I just want to sit on the sidelines and lock in profit, because there's just so many little risks that are popping up that, and as well from my portfolio point of view, for the exposure that I have in the space, it's just the right time to rebalance, I think, ultimately. So, I did reduce that position last week actually, and sell all my Gaming Realms position. I guess another thing as well is that I'll add this one in as well. I did actually buy 2 new positions as well last week, so that was also another little factor on top again, where I was like, I don't want to have too many positions. So can I remove a position so I don't have to keep doing all the work of doing research in the companies? And that's also another reason why Gaming Realms also ended up on the chopping block. The combination of factors overall, and also the big tax change was a major driver of why it was sold. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it won't be such a surprise then at the when we do the stocks I've been buying and selling video at the end of the month when Gaming Realms comes on there. Hopefully it won't be such a big surprise for you now. But yeah, at the end of the day, don't fall in love with stock. I really like Gaming Realms, but can't fall in love with it. And at the end of the day, we're here to make money, so let's lock in that profit and move on to the next one. Thanks for watching. Congratulations to any of you guys that have been Gaming Realms shareholders over this last 1 or 2 years as well. And see you on tomorrow's video.